Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm recording this here on the Thanksgiving evening. I guess I was wanting to talk about our ancestors and how I feel so thankful for them and to be on this journey that I'm on and to maybe encourage each of you on your ancestral journey in clearing the old patterns that keep us bogged down in this life. But ancestral clearing is much more than just clearing the old patterns. In doing so, in clearing those patterns that help you, help your life, it helps your ancestors, even in the waiting places, I call it, in nature around us, where I find that most of them exist after their bodies die. Then it helps them. It raises their voltage. It makes them happier. And it allows them to be able to then transition to the oneness when they're ready. And I'll talk about that a little later. But what I have found is that this relationship with our ancestors, just like it differs from the relationship you might have had with your ancestors when they were living. Of course, mine differs, but it's also a lot alike in many ways in exchange of thoughts and ideas, in asking for their help, in receiving that help, in being on this journey together, because life doesn't end at death. And so they continue their journey, and they're always part of us because we're made of them. And this journey continues, and we're meant to be on the journey together and to help each other along the way. And it becomes like a river of love, this exchange of love and gratitude for in helping each other enjoy in our vibrations, our frequencies of higher voltage, and of learning to live as spirit beings, because we all are, whether we're living or dead, and looking forward to the oneness when we can all be one again. I started my journey with my ancestors. I was close to my mother's parents. I guess I could consider them my closest ancestors, except for my parents. I didn't know the grandparents beyond them, but I knew a lot of them, especially my maternal grandfather. He was kind of a historian. And so I grew up knowing a lot about both his mother's side of the family and his father's side of the family. My grandmother there, my maternal grandmother, she didn't know very much about her father's family. I didn't grow up knowing very much about her mother's side of the family, but I knew about her family that she grew up with. She had a number of siblings, and the love they shared for each other as they grew up. Their mother had died when she was young. She was one of the younger of the children, and then one of the older sisters helped take care of the younger siblings. But the love that family shared, they stayed very close through a lot of their lives, and it was beautiful. I knew quite a bit about my father's family too. There had been genealogy done on that side, and I knew some of the general things about them. And again, I knew a lot about my father's family, his many brothers and sisters, and I knew a little bit about the grandparents. So I grew up loving my grandparents and knowing them, but it was nothing to prepare me for this this part of my journey with my ancestors. So many of you probably heard my story where I'd kind of hit my bottom and had started made a big changes in my life and learned about biofield tuning and took the first class, and ancestors started coming. It was on a St. Patrick's Day, and my grandfather, who was a mix of Welsh and Swedish and some other things like that, were he suddenly stood beside me, and he'd been gone for about 25 years. My children were little when he died, and they got to know him some. And suddenly there he was, and I'm scared because to me, that was ghosts. I'd never experienced anything like that. It was strange. I had, by that time, after my first biofield tuning class, I had started tuning ancestors who were already in the oneness for their electromagnetic damages to their spiritual being, their biofields I found that they had suffered damage because of the electromagnetic frequencies that are unhelpful and surrounding us. And the sun charges our own bodies, and so them, and the moon charges our spirits. And so without the physical bodies, I found that really they suffered a lot in their auras or in their biofields. Excuse me, sorry, had to cough. And but there was Grandpa, and he wanted my help. He said, I'm ready to go to the oneness. I need your help. And it's like, wow, what do I do? How can I help you? I don't know how to do that. I've never worked with ancestors like that. And he said, use your tuning forks. And so I started in just letting spirit guide me and clearing his stuck energy within my biofield. And then I went to other ancestors after that. And one by one, I went back from grandparents. I went back each generations for 5 generations, and naming the ancestors by name for the ones that I knew their names. There was a few I didn't know their names, and I just held that place for them as that part of that generation. And it was beautiful as I cleared their stuck energy, as I cleared their old emotions that kept them stuck in the waiting place, and mine were cleared. My sadness was cleared. It was awesome. It was just beautiful. And then as I worked in the biofield, then the ones who had already gone to the oneness were there to help me and guide me. They came in my life too. My father had died a number of years ago, and I found he was already in the oneness. And so my relationship with each of those ancestors continues. And it's lovely. It's important to me. It's made a huge difference in my life, both in clearing their energy and in having that relationship with them. And I'm just really thankful. And I look forward to where this relationship, this journey with the ancestors will bring me. I just try to live as spirit being and tap into intuition and listen to my spirit and follow. That's how I live. I wanted to talk a little bit about how we can help the ancestors. I mean, there is the clearing of the stuck energy. I do it, of course, by tuning forks. There are other modalities that clear it. Your intention perhaps can clear it. It will work for some people. Some that aren't as familiar with just using their intention, it may not be able to work as well, and you may want some help to do that. Other times it could be very deep-seated, and intention alone may not be enough for just automatically doing it quickly, that it may take years, perhaps, um, to work on that through intention. And I really like and appreciate how the biofield tuning can work like that and can pick up those places that of stuck energy without us even knowing which ones need to clear. But the forks find that dissonance, and the biofeedback from the forks allows that release to happen. And so there's other ways we can help the ancestors too, because there's 5 things that the ancestors need to transition, and clearing that stuck energy is just one of those. The way that we help them most, and clearing the stuck energy is part of it, but is in our love, in our desire to help them. Even if you don't know what to do or how to do, even if you're scared or leery about it, it's our job, really, to clear the generations, to raise the voltage of the universe, so that our lives and those of our descendants is better and happier and more true to self, more true to spirit. So I hope you begin your ancestral work in some way. Another thing I wanted to mention is that, yes, we carry the old stuck energy of unhelpful emotions or unhelpful thought patterns that our ancestors have. And so you might feel that they kind of get a bad rap that, yuck, I'm carrying this of my ancestors. They did this to me. And, they lived their life as best as they could. And now it's our turn. And we can live our lives better with their help and with clearing that stuck energy. And the best thing is it doesn't end there. It helps our descendants. It helps our other family members. It's slower as it spreads to siblings or whatever. There's more change can be felt. If your children are still at home, you can see that change more directly in them. I've seen it in other close family members, especially with my mother and my grown children. And it's very, very well worth all the effort to play my part, because it's the time in the history of the universe for this to happen. And the universe is bringing these things into our lives, into our experiences, so that we can benefit the higher good of the universe and make a change in the trajectory of mankind and of the earth itself. And so we help the ancestors, and they help us. They want to, especially the ones in the oneness are so full of love and gratitude and joy, and they send us that love and gratitude and joy. They send us guidance from the oneness. They are with us at times, sometimes in presence, sometimes just their intention, and you can feel just their thought with you. But they are very, very much what to help us at all times. The ancestors who are not in the oneness, most of them do want to help. Most of them try to help and can help. There's some, though, that are not trustworthy. And so care needs to be taken in your connection with the ones that aren't helpful. And because I really, truly don't know which ones are real helpful and which ones aren't, then I limit my connection with the ancestors that are not that are in the waiting place around us that are not ready to transition. I limit that until um, they let me know that they are seeking again, that they're seeking that change. They're seeking the truth, that they're seeking um, that connection. They're seeking those 5 things that they need to transition into the oneness again. Where this phase of their life is the physical, it ended, and they're wanting this place in the afterlife, the waiting place to end, so they can be where they're meant to be, and where that is always full of the love and joy and gratitude. And so they help us and we help them. And again, I'm just very grateful for my ancestors. I'm very grateful for each of you who listen to this, and for clients in the past and present who have begun their ancestral clearing journey, and how we help each other, and how I've learned in my ancestral journey. I learned from each session or each person, and I thank you for that. And for those of you who are wanting to continue your ancestral clearing journey, or want to start, I have 3 ways that I offer to you, and the links are in the description below. And one is individual one-on-one sessions where we can something new comes up and we pursue that individual need or the individual energies that present in you and in your family, and we can pick those out as they come, and each session we can work on clearing those ancestral patterns, and helping your life, and transitioning ancestors who are ready. Then I do have a set of 6 or 7 recorded sessions. It starts with a session for the father, a session for your mother of the ancestors, and then the first generation of grandparents, the second generation of grandparents, the third, and so on, and to those. And then there's one on ancestral clearing that you can listen to, a short, a few minute thing that you can listen to after each of the others if you want to help them transition into the oneness when they're ready. And then the other thing I offer is a 12-month course that is for ancestral clearing, but it's much more than ancestral clearing and clearing the old patterns. It is in developing your connection with spirit and intuition, and with the universe in many ways, in which the things that God or spirit has shown me how to do, that's very important for us to make the most of our life here as living as spirit beings. And so the links are below, and you can check those out if that works for you. If not, there are many other people that offer many things too, and I trust that if you keep seeking, you'll find what's right for you. And so this eve before Thanksgiving, I give you thanks for watching. I give thanks to the universe, to spirit, for always working in our highest good. And with that, I'll catch you next week for the oracle card reading for the month of December. Have a great Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.